All right, so this is the upgrade I'm super excited about. And it's kind of twofold because I get to do a comparison of the old floor mats to the new ones from LASFIT. And this is the third vehicle that I've had LASFIT liners in. So super excited to put these in. Always had really good luck, I guess you could say, a really good fitment with LASFIT. So let's unbox these and then I'll show you what we're replacing and we'll compare the two. So for a pretty little box, there's a lot of stuff in these boxes, and I'll go over this real fast. So you have your two fronts right here, driver and passenger obviously, and then you have your back seat mat right here, which is full coverage all the way across. And one thing I really like about LASFIT is they're laser cut, so they fit perfect. I mean, there's literally no gaps for your carpet on here, which is nice. Another thing that's awesome, these are for the back seats, so these actually go on the carpet area, which I have dogs, and I'll show you what my trunk looks like. And it's just covered. This thing is never clean, ever. It's always on the road. It's always towing campers, driven to work. It's on the trails, everything. And then we have the back liner, which is the actual floor part of the trunk. So we're gonna pull all these out real fast, and then, like I said, I'll go over and I'll show you what we're replacing on the 4Runner at this point. But a lot of stuff in one box. Pretty excited to put this in. So this is the trunk area, and it is covered in here. Probably should have got a mat for it a long time ago. It does have the factory one, which is kind of help keep it pretty clean, but as you can see, there's dog hair floating around everywhere. Trunk is just a mess. And then the back of the chair, there's burrs on it from the dogs. Just really filthy. So we're gonna pull everything out of here and install that. Also, the mats we are replacing and going to compare to is actually going to be the OEDRO. These were just on Amazon. I got them on sale. As you can see, not the best coverage all the way around, but they have worked. But let's pull these out and compare them to the fronts of the LASFIT. So here is the OEDRO next to the LASFIT liners. And I mean, just off the bat, you can tell the size difference right here. So this is your driver's side one right here. And if you look, remember I was talking about the areas of protection that are really not covered. I mean, this thing's a whole nother 6 inches taller as far as coverage, and a little bit higher on the side, and also the rear area. So there's cutouts in the back right here, which a lot of stuff falls in, especially if you're tall and you put your chair back. LASFIT actually covers the seat mounts, is what it looks like. So huge difference in the size of these two. Move over to the passenger, it's the same thing. I mean, night and day size difference. About the same coverage on the inner side, but the outer is longer, so covers more. And then of course your back end area, same thing. There's no coverage right here, and we have full coverage right here. As far as the thickness, these are noticeably, I mean, they're definitely thinner. Definitely thinner than the LASFITs. But overall, mainly the size difference, the coverage area. The LASFITs are gonna cover way more. They also have a groove design on here. So it's called a non-slip. Really, these aren't too slippery either. They're rubber, but there is a little more traction, I guess you could say, with the design of the LASFIT liners. So let's go ahead and throw them in and see what they look like. So hit the carpet with a quick vacuum. Nothing crazy. I'm taking it in to get detailed pretty soon. But as you can see, just tons of coverage. I like how it meets up right here. And then obviously it stands and covers everything. Another plus up on these is that these caps right here. So when you lock them in, dirt and crap is not gonna fall in there. Whereas these were just kind of wide open. So, I mean, just massive amounts of coverage. So far so good. Pull the back one out now and we'll compare the back two. All right, so moving on to the back seat mats. Pretty similar, honestly. The only difference that I can see is that the LASFITs go higher up right here. So if you have people with feet on there and they put their feet up a little bit, they're not gonna be able to catch as much compared to these. But overall, they look pretty similar in the way they're cut. Well, this part's higher too, so the rear part that sits against your seat is actually higher on the LASFITs as well. So overall there's more coverage with the rear mat as well. Well, let's put it in and see how it does. One more thing before we throw it in. I noticed that as I picked it up, LASFIT has these little pokey things on the bottom, little grooves, so this won't slide around, whereas this one's just flat. So this will stay in place, whereas this one shuffled around a little bit. Also, just the weight difference, LASFIT definitely is a thicker material, so something to note between the two. So as expected, I feel like a glove. Looks really good. That actually is nice. That high lip on the back right here pretty much meets flush with all your seat mounts. So nice protection in and out right here. Looks really good. So for the rear, I put the factory mat that's really filthy over the LASFIT one just to show you the size difference. So obviously it sits out quite a bit more, and the carpet definitely holds on to a lot of stuff. So LASFIT, you should be able to wipe it off and wash it. Spray it out with a water hose, much easier to keep clean. Coverage looks good, so let's go ahead and throw it in and see how it fits. Well, mat fits good. Like I said, I keep a lot of stuff in the trunk, so obviously cables, air compressor, straps, hitch, in case I need to get towed out. The last part to this is the rear seat covers. Like I said, I'm going to install them, and then eventually I'm going to take this in to get detailed. So then it'll be a fresh start when putting these on, but I really wish I would have had these from the start. Obviously carrying dogs and all that stuff. So the cool thing about these is they have like little Velcro strips, so they just attach right on. So let's throw them on, see how they look. So nicely done. Cool thing about these for the rear seat, like I said, they just stick right on. So you just press them on. And then you have cutouts for all your seat switches back here, as well as your locks, so nothing gets in the way of anything. But man, that coverage would have been nice to have from the start. So should make this a lot easier to keep clean, especially after I get detailed. I throw the dogs in the back, won't have to worry about all the dog hair everywhere, especially on the back of the seats, because that's where it likes to stick to. So overall, I mean, these are phenomenal. Coverage from the front to the back is just great. So to close out the video, I'm gonna show you all aspects of the floor mats covering. So front driver's side, front passenger side, the rear seat, and the trunk. So total vehicle protection.